Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to give you a demo of True Wave Scanner using which you can find some great Elliott Wave trading setups instantly. Before we get into that, I just want to quickly give you a 5-minute introduction to Elliott Waves. Elliott Waves is a very vast subject and it takes months, sometimes even years to master it. But to make the best out of True Wave Scanner, you need to know at least the bare minimum, the basics, which I'm going to cover quickly. As per Elliott Waves, market moves in waves, and these waves form a pattern which looks like this. So if we talk about an uptrend, then this pattern could look like something like this. So here you can see this is a 8-leg sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in the direction of the primary trend. This is an uptrend, so primary trend is up, and 3 legs, 1, 2, 3, counter trend, opposite to the trend, primary trend direction. So these 5 waves are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these 3 leg, the counter trend legs, these are A, B, and C. Right? So this is the uptrend. Similarly, if we talk about downtrend, it may look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here in a downtrend, primary trend is down. So 5 legs in the direction of primary trend and 3 legs counter trend, that means on the upside, right? So that's how Elliott waves typically look like. And what happens once this pattern has completed? So once this pattern has completed, we expect the same pattern to repeat again. So basically what it means is, once this is done, we expect the same thing will happen once again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, right? So this is for the upside. Similar cases applicable in downtrend also. So once this 8-wave pattern on the downside is done, then we expect the same pattern to repeat again, and the market continues like that. Now there are some rules that must be followed when working with Elliott waves, and there are 3 rules which have to be true for a structure to be called a valid Elliott wave structure, right? The first rule is wave 3. Let me mark them. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wave 3, this leg cannot be the shortest of 1, 3, and 5. So these legs 1, 3, and 5, which are in direction of the primary trend, out of these 3 legs, 3 can never be the shortest. 3 can be shorter than 1 or maybe shorter than 5, but it cannot be shorter than both. And often wave 3 is the largest of all 3 of them, but it can never be the shortest. So that is a rule which has to be true in all conditions for a structure to be a valid Elliott wave pattern, right? Second rule is wave 2 cannot retrace beyond the starting point of wave 1. So wave 1 started here, so wave 2 cannot be like this. It can never retrace beyond or below the origin of wave 1. So if this happens, this is not really a valid Elliott wave structure. So this is rule number 2. And rule number 3 is the areas in which wave 1 and wave 4 occur, they should not overlap. So basically wave 1 and wave 4 should not overlap. So let's say if 4 occurred here, and you can see now there's an overlap, so then this is not really a valid Elliott wave structure. But in this particular case, there is an exception to it, and that exception is diagonals. So I'm not going to get into all those details because that would take a lot of time. I would add a link to a playlist which is essentially a tutorial to Elliott waves. It should not really take a lot of time, but that will cover all these details. And coming back to this, So these are the three rules. Wave 3 cannot be shortest, wave 2 cannot retrace beyond the origin of wave 1, and wave 1 and 4 cannot overlap. So these three are the mandatory rules. And these three counter trend waves, they are marked as ABC. And here also we may have some variations like WXY, WXYXZ, but again, I will not go into all those details, but at a high level, this is how the structure looks like, and this is how these legs are identified. And the same thing is applicable in this case. So in a downtrend case, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the primary direction and ABC in the counter trend direction. And the same three rules that we discussed here are applicable in downtrend as well. 3 cannot be shortest, wave 1 and 4 should not overlap, and wave 2 cannot retrace beyond the origin of wave 1, right? So these are the rules for identifying a valid Elliott wave structure. Now, another thing is, how do we find whether an Elliott wave structure is evolving, right? So one way to do it is to find out when exactly a structure becomes 5 waves, right? So here, this is 1 leg, this is 2 leg, this is 3 leg, this is 4 leg. And as soon as the supposedly 5th leg crossing wave 3, that is the point where we might begin to think that this could potentially be a 5 wave structure. So at this point, exactly, right? Similarly, in a downtrend, when this price action is unfolding, at this point, when the price breaks below the low of wave 3, that's when we can say that this might potentially be a 5 wave structure unfolding. Using this point, we can identify potential Elliott wave 5 wave sequences, and this is what exactly True Wave Scanner does. It scans all the stocks in our universe, which is as of now NIFTY 500 stocks and SPX 500 stocks. It scans all these stocks every day. It tries to find where this 5 wave structure might be, in which of the stocks 5 wave structure might be unfolding, and at this exact point it tries to highlight them, and we can start following those stocks from there and see how the structure further evolves, right? Now another thing in Elliott wave structure is Fibonacci retracement. So what exactly is Fibonacci retracement? We use Fibonacci tool, Fibonacci retracement tool, which you can find if you are using TradingView. You can find it here, Fibonacci retracement. And using this tool, we can try to forecast how much these 3 waves counter trend moves will retrace once this 5 wave sequence is over, right? So as you can see here, you can see a lot of levels like 23.6, 0.2236, 38.2%, 50%, 61.8%, and 78.6%. So all these levels are important, but these 3 levels, 38.2, 50%, and 61.8, are more often than not, these are the levels where this 3 wave sequence retrace to, right? So using these retracement zones, we can try to estimate that where exactly this retracement will complete, ABC will complete, and from where another 5 wave sequence will unfold on the upside. And more often than not, this 5 wave sequence, the size of this 5 wave sequence is what the target or the forecast for the next 5 wave sequence that will follow after this sequence, ABC sequence, is over, right? So to put it other way, if I measure the size of this from here to here, so I get almost 41.38 points or 27.36%. So once this is complete, we can expect the same 27.36% move on the upside, right, from this point. So that's how Elliott Waves can help you predict what might happen and to what extent it might happen, right? So you might be able to capture such a big move, large move, if you do this right. This is exactly what True Wave Scanner can help you with, right? And same thing is applicable on the downside also. So now, how do you trade these setups? So let me go to the platform. And if you haven't signed up for this, you can sign up. It's quick, should take 2 minutes, and it's free of cost. Obviously, you have a 30-day free trial. And once you have your account, log in. And once you log in, depending on your preferred market, India or US, you will see a list of identified setups. And then here you will see a bunch of filters. So this is search. You can search for a specific stock if it is available in this list. And you can filter them by these different status. So there is live, multi-wave confirmed, invalidated. Live essentially means this is a new signal identified and it is still unfolding. Multi-wave confirmed basically means a 5-wave sequence has been confirmed and currently it is undergoing ABC retracement. That essentially means once that ABC is complete, you might expect another 5-wave sequence in the same direction of the previous 5-wave sequence. If it was an uptrend, you can expect another 5 waves of same size, or in many cases they might be bigger as well. And in a downtrend, in the down direction, 5-wave sequence might unfold. And then invalidated. Invalidated basically means I mentioned about those 3 rules, right? Wave 3 cannot be shortest. So at any point of time, if our scanner finds that one of the identified pattern listed in your dashboard that has invalidated any of the rules, then it will mark it as invalidated. And those invalidated setups you can see at the bottom, right? So for example, these setups have been invalidated, and if you will go to these setups, you can see setup invalidated along with the reason. So in this particular case, the reason is wave 3 has become shortest. So, and wave 3 cannot be the shortest. When this pattern was recognized that at that point of time, wave 3 was not the shortest, but afterwards wave 3 became shortest because wave 5 continued to go up. Going back to the filters, then we have wave types. So we have impulse and we have diagonal. So these wave types are the 5-wave sequences, right? And impulse basically means there is no overlap between wave 1 and wave 4. And these are the very strong moves in either direction. And diagonals are where overlap can happen. Wave 1 and wave 4 can overlap, but it would still be a valid 5-wave sequence, but in specific conditions. For example, if a diagonal forms where wave 1 and wave 5 overlap happens, then it can happen only in wave 1 or wave 5, and it can also happen in wave A and wave C. All these details you can learn when you will go through the Elliott Wave tutorial. So I highly recommend that you go and watch it. I will include the link in the description as well, and also add a link at the end of this video, so you can directly click and go there and watch it. And then you can also see the stocks based on a particular direction. If you're interested only in stocks going up, then you can filter them by up, or if you're only interested in seeing the stocks which you expect to go down, then you can filter by down. Then time frame. Right now only daily time frame is available, but in future we plan to include weekly, hourly and 15-minute as well. Date range, you can also filter them by date range. So basically what this date range does is it tells you when exactly a signal was identified. Within last 7 days, within last 14 days, within last 30 days. So here you can see wave pattern detected on 18th July, so on Friday. And this is how you can filter. So you can combine them and filter them as per your requirements. And lastly, you have the sorting. So you can sort the result by latest or oldest. Now coming back to how you can use True Wave Scanner to find some Elliott Wave setups, you can just go to this list and you can click on View Chart. and here you can see True Wave Scanner has identified a 5-wave pattern here, 1 2 3 4 5, and the size of the 5-wave has been projected here, that what should be the size of wave 5, and that is calculated as per the equality guideline, where wave 5 is likely to be equal to wave 1 if 3 is the largest, and if wave 3 is shorter than wave 1, then wave 5 cannot be larger than wave 3 because wave 3 can never be the shortest. So we use these two guidelines to determine a projection for wave 5, right? So till what point wave 5 could go, right? So in this particular setup, this is the projection. Here you can see wave 5 projection is at 1635.35. So this is what the estimated point for wave 5 to complete. So this is one way of doing it, right? And you can see another chart here. So here you can see 1 2 3 4 5, another great 5-wave setup, and then here you can see retracement. Here you will notice another thing, that it says 5-wave confirmed. So basically what it means is that 5 waves pattern has been confirmed and it is currently in retracement, right? And it also plots those 3 retracement levels that I mentioned, 38.2%, 50% and 61.8%, which are the potential zones where this ABC retracement can finish. And once this is done, that's when you can expect another 5-wave sequence of the same size to unfold on the upside, right? So that's how you can find a great setup. If you like a chart, you can shortlist it and go back to dashboard, and you can click on my shortlist, and here you can see, right? So you can find these kind of setup, which is also my favorite setup, where motive wave has been confirmed. You can apply these filters and only see these kind of stocks, right? And here is another stock where a 5-wave pattern was identified from this top in a downtrend, 1 2 3 4 5, and this also seems to be in retracement, and it has already reached 50% level, and from here, as we can see, it has potentially started falling. If it continues to fall, it's likely that we could fall the similar size 1 2 3 4 5 on the downside, right? Let's take a look at another chart. So here again you can see it identified a 1 2 3 4 5 pattern, and which has completed. 5 waves are confirmed, and now it seems to be in retracement. It has completed 38.2%. So we have to see for signs of reversal from one of these zones. It will make an up move, and that is likely to be similar in size of this move from this 0 to 5 point. For example, this 0 is at 552, 5 is at 691. So this is roughly around 30% move, and we can expect once this retracement is over that they should make a 30% move on the upside. So if you want to trade the 5th wave, for example, the stocks where we have just identified a fresh potential sequence, so in those cases you can try to trade the equality based on the wave 5 projection, and as you can see, it is currently at 304 and the projection is at 316. So that's one way to trade it, but this is not my favorite setup because like this size is not really very significant, and for this kind of trade to be a great setup, wave 1 and even wave 3 have to be quite large so that we have a lot of space. So for example, if this projection was around here, then that would have given us quite a runway and we would have got a favorable risk reward as well. But in this particular case, it is not really a great setup for this. Let's take a look at some other setups. Here also you can see the wave 5 projection. In this case, this gray line was the max possible extension and this has already been met, right? So there is nothing left in this. Here you can see the projection is at 13.10. The stock is currently trading at 12.22. So there is some space here. But for these kind of setup, as I said, you need to have a good risk reward to trade them. And this is the reason this is not really my favorite setup. My favorite setup is motive wave confirm, where the stock is in retracement. So I will wait patiently till I see signs of reversal, and then I would trade the next up wave or down wave depending on the direction of that particular sequence. And there is a third way of trading them as well, using a true wave scanner, which is probably the riskiest one, and I won't recommend it. But if you want to really trade it, you can. And for that, again, we have to filter them. Let's see only impulse cases, because we are looking for strong trend, and let's see only up cases. So we found this one example. In this case, you can see it has done 38.2%, but it could actually do 50% as well and 61.8% as well, right? Depending on how the price action looks, you may want to trade it for one of these levels for 50% maybe, or for 61.8% as well, if you get a favorable risk reward. So but corrections can be slow and they can take a lot of time. So that's the reason I try to avoid trading the corrections. I try to trade the primary waves. So essentially, once this is over and this is over, I would prefer to trade this fresh wave on the upside rather than trading this correction. But if you really want to, you can, if you find a good setup. And we have already discussed about the invalidation cases. So these charts which are marked as invalidated, if you already were trading any of these and they got marked as invalidated, that basically means the setup is now invalid and you should get out of these trades as soon as possible. And if you are an Elliott Wave trader, you would find True Wave Scanner a great help, because you don't really have to look at all the charts one by one and look for 5-wave sequence. Now this tool does it for you. So you can go through all these charts one by one and see which you like. If you like something, you can shortlist it and you can do a deeper analysis using your preferred trading tool. I would like to add here that not all the scans that you see here would be great setups. Some of them definitely will be, some of them will be good setups, and some of them will be poor setups, right? So if you will just randomly take a look at it, some might look very good. So this is a good looking chart and it has some way to go up in the 5th wave projection. The structure also looks good. Even though there is an overlap, it still could be a leading diagonal. And let's take a look at some more chart. So here you can see this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and here you can see 3 looks very short compared to 1. This could still be a valid setup, but you may not like it from Elliott Wave perspective, because 3 is like, this is not even half of 1, right? So some setups may not really look very good, and you can simply ignore them. And for example, this one is also a decent looking setup, but you might wonder, what if it started here, because this seems even a further low compared to this point, right? Even though this whole thing looks corrective. So basically, depending on how you analyze your wave setups, you may not find some setups very good. Some of them definitely would find it very great setup, some of them good setup, as I said, but not everything that you see here may turn out to be a tradable setup. So you have to look at everything, analyze, and see for yourself which of these setups might work best for you. The idea of this scanner is to scan the market, all these 500 stocks in respective Indian and US markets, and try to detect where a 5-wave pattern could be forming. So you don't really have to go and take a look at each of those 500 charts one by one, right? So it will save you that much time. And it will not just save you time by scanning those charts, it will also help you show some great setups by detecting these patterns, which you can actually trade. Using this tool, I have found so many great setups in both Indian and US markets. So here I can show you. So all these setups I found using Elliott Wave scanner. So here I can see this is 5-wave sequence and ABC is happening once this is done. And then here is another setup. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC has happened. A fresh wave on the upside has started. So this also I found using this. So all these setups I have found. 1, 2, 3, 4 is going on and 5th might happen here. And this is a long list of stocks. So I don't really have to now go through all charts one by one. I can simply shortlist my favorite setups and basically I can dig deeper into it. I can do more technical analysis on them to kind of fine tune my entries, or I can even do a fundamental analysis to see whether these stocks are solid from fundamental perspective before I take a position. Similarly, I can show you some setups from US market. Here you can see AMD, which also I found using Elliott Wave scanner. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This pattern was identified here somewhere. And here is YUM. This is a downtrend 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is in retracement. Once this is done, expectation would be that it should fall and do a similar size of move on the downside. And here is Dell, which again was found using Elliott Wave scanner. So here are a bunch of other stocks as well. So we are working on adding more scans and trying to fine tune and making the tool more useful even for those users who are not proficient Elliott Wave traders. So we are working on it. We will keep improving the tool. But if you are an Elliott Wave trader, you would see the value it already brings to you immediately, not just by bringing these scans, but also identifying these waves and giving you setups which are ready for the next big move. If you have any suggestions about the tool, feel free to drop us an email. I will include the email in the description. And if you have any questions, do let us know. I hope you found this demo useful. Do give it a try and let us know what you think about it. Thank you very much.